Hi guys, I'm going to go ahead and go over my 2005 Hyundai Accent and how I improved my gas mileage. Okay, it's got 140,000 miles on it now. So I'm going to go ahead and before I did this work, like a month ago, it was only getting about 12 miles per gallon. Okay, because I did a trip to North Florida and I had to gas up 4 times just to get there. Okay, so now after I done this work, I'm going to go over what I did to it. You know, I'm only I only gassed up 1 time to get back, and then I got half a tank of gas left too. So that's quite a bit of savings on the money part. So let me go ahead and go over what I did to this car. Okay, so let me just go over the car real quick. Air filter, tube that goes into the where the gas will go. Okay, now this doesn't have a mass airflow sensor that would usually be like, clamped. There'd be 2 clamps here. It'd be right in here somewhere with an electrical switch. It doesn't have one of them. It's got one of these right here, map sensor. So you usually have one or the other. This has got one of them. Pretty much the same from what I understand. Throttle position sensor right here. This throttle, controls every time this moves. You step on the gas. This gas goes to the gas pedal right there, that cable. This throttle position sensor says it sends a signal to the computer. Okay, and this idle sensor here sends a signal to the computer. This sends a signal to the computer. This camshaft sensor sends a signal to the computer. Okay, and then the oxygen sensor sends a signal to the computer. It's right there. Just push a. If you want to replace these, push. There should be a place where you push, right where it connects to the electrical connectors. Push and pull. Okay, crankshaft sensor is right down here. It's hard to see, but there's the. Do you see this connecting right here? What I'm pointing to with my finger. That goes to the camshaft sensor. It's bolted into the engine, pretty much the same way this one is bolted in here. That's called the crankshaft sensor. If I said it wrong, I'm sorry. Crankshaft sensor. But it's the camshaft sensor here. See it, but they both pretty much bolted that way and have electrical connection to them. So these parts need to be working for you to get good gas balance. Y'all need to be sending that signal to the computer. Okay, so now the spark plug, I took it to the auto parts store, put the computer on it. Like I said, misfire. Didn't give me any ideas of what to do. Take it to a mechanic. Yeah, take it to a mechanic, spend $500. Okay, or who knows? What if they did all this work that I did? It'd be a lot. All right, but anyway, I went ahead and bought some cheap spark plugs to put in there, and my car is running better. So I went in and bought some. I said, well, it must have been them spark plugs or something wrong with the ones I had in there. So I went in and bought some double platinum spark plugs and put in there. Okay, I went ahead and replaced this. Okay, you can see that doesn't have any writing on it. It's just a cheap. This is a cheap one I got from eBay. I don't usually like to get the cheapest ones, but this scenario, I was desperate in getting, figuring out what the heck is going on. I went ahead and I make sure there was no vacuum leaks by doing stuff like this, because I replaced this pipe one time and I had to sort of modify it to get it to work. So I went and said, well, it could be a caulk leak. So I went ahead and caulked around the connections. You see? I don't recommend anyone doing that, but I mean, to get this part right here, the only place I get it from the dealer, from what I understand, it's like $300 or $400. Okay. So I went ahead and put double platinum spark plugs in. I went ahead and got a new one of them. Okay. Camshaft sensor, just, I don't think it was bad because I replaced it before, but it's kind of easy to get to. It takes about 5 minutes. If you go to a mechanic to do it, they want about $320 on the high end side. Maybe, if you talk to them and friendly with them, maybe they'll get it down a little bit. So replace that. Replace the spark plugs. These are not the original wires, but I didn't replace them. I replaced like 5 years ago. I didn't replace them for it wasn't because of the problem. Okay, this connection right here to the coil, I didn't do that. That was already done. So that one, this one, spark plugs, oxygen sensor. I replaced the upstream. This upstream one right here, I had a problem with it. The threads on, I had to take this cover off. I had to heat up the outside of it and had to beat the metal when it was more pliable. Once I got it hot enough, because it was sort of, the hole was sort of opening up on me. So I had to beat on the top of it to close up the hole a little bit so I could thread it in there because it wasn't catching. Anyway, got the oxygen sensor in there correctly. Upstream, and then the downstream was very easy to replace. Both the oxygen sensors. And fuel injectors. I went ahead and bought new fuel injectors because I wanted the original type of fuel injector that was coming with this car. So I went ahead and paid, more money to get the original Hyundai. It's got the Hyundai, come in the Honda box, and got the Hyundai H, on it. So it's supposed to be original. I got them from eBay at a pretty good price. They can be really expensive. Like I got them on eBay, and the reason I replaced the fuel injectors because I had replaced the fuel injectors before with a type that wasn't the original, and I just wanted to get the good gas mileage. And I was thinking maybe it's because I had them fuel injectors are not the original, type. So I went ahead and replaced them. So really, all that work, I mean, I did it myself, and it didn't cost me a fortune. When I got all good new parts in the system. And this is a Bosch oxygen sensor. Okay, upstream and downstream. I went ahead and, some of the times I'll buy more. I spend more for the part, to get a little better part. But I don't like to buy the most expensive part unless I really think it's going to do something. So let's go ahead and go over the gas mileage, and I'll show you. This is what I did. Yeah, that went over all the stuff I did. Oxygen sensor, spark plugs, map sensor. Okay, camshaft sensor and crankshaft sensor. That was bad. Crankshaft sensor. That's hard to get to. I'm pretty sure that was bad. I'm pretty sure it was a combination of that crankshaft sensor, oxygen sensors, and spark plugs. Pretty sure it was a combination. Then I put a new one in. These in just for the. It's because I wanted to have a newer one in there. I don't think that was a problem, but I put a new one in, and I put a new one of these in. Okay? And of course, I put a new air filter in there. And came back from I did this trip twice. So the second time I did, okay, this is what my my fuel gauge is. And when I fuel up the gas, I always set this top part here. You see them top numbers? Always set in the 00. It says 181.7. Well, that'll be at 00 once I fill up the gas. And so I get an idea. And so I got that many miles, 181 miles on almost a half a tank, a little less than a little more than half a tank. I'm sorry, a little more than half a tank. Okay, so and that's a big improvement on money and everything. When I go on a trip, that's a big improvement. Okay, now that was highway driving. I was actually pulling a boat. I got them miles, so I might be getting better miles if I'm not pulling a boat. I was pulling a boat with that, and that was not city miles. That was on the highway. I was on the highway. It's a manual car. Had this in 5th gear. And just touch on the gas to keep it going about 60, 65 miles per hour. I wasn't doing 70. I tried to keep it in 60, 65 to get better gas mileage. But I definitely improved my gas mileage. I just wanted to go over You know, so if someone else has this problem or has a car and they're wondering about this, I just want to go over, you know, and explain things a little bit to everybody, because no one really explained it to me like I'm explaining now. Okay, I want to thank you for watching. If you like this video, please subscribe. Bye now.